Hi everyone, welcome back to Sam's Hair Systems and Grooming Tips. Today I'm going to be talking about if you're thinking about getting a hair system and the pros and cons. Just before I get into it, if you can like and subscribe, we really appreciated. Right, let's get on with the video. Okay, so as I said in the previous video, one of the main ways I deal with this, I will usually go with the bad before the good. So I'm going to start listing some cons. So, if you're thinking about getting a hair system, there are lots of things you will need to take into consideration. So one of them is being time. So once you've got the technique and everything nailed down, it should be pretty quick. But just to give you an idea, if I do weekly maintenance on taking this off, putting it back on, and everything in between, that's cleaning the hair system, cleaning the base, cleaning my hair, getting all the glue off, doing all the protection on there, then it can take a while. So I'd say at the moment, because I want to make sure I get it spot on, I'm taking about an hour to do all the prep of that. On top of that, you've got the cut as well. So cutting, underneath the hair system, your actual hair. And if you are doing it yourself, it will take a bit longer because obviously when you're going to the back, you have to be very careful and make sure you get all those parts. So, you could be looking at a couple of hours a week. You could be looking at a little bit more depending on the type of glue and how the glue works on your skin, because you might get a lift, so you might need to make some adjustments. But like I say, over time, this will become a lot easier. But that's one thing to take into consideration. If you really are limited on time, this may be really difficult to a point. So as long as you've got some spare time at the weekend or some spare time in the evenings, this shouldn't be a problem. As long as you're committed, you'll be fine. Okay. Number 2 is knowledge. So, knowledge is absolute key to having a successful hair system that you're happy with. So, without knowledge, you will essentially be like how I was when I first had my hair system. So, when I had my hair system, first of all, I did get it done by a salon. I was really happy, like to show off my hair. But then I started getting lifts on there on the front, and I worked out how to start getting the glue off and getting it all nice and neat and tidy and putting that bit back down. But I started getting lifts at the back as well, and that is a lot trickier. So, you will get these times where you're going to get lifts in different places. So it's going to get to the point where you're going to need to take it off. And for me at that time, the salon was about an hour away, and I didn't have too much time to be able to go to the salon and get it all refitted and everything like that. So knowledge is key. You have to really look and study these videos first of all, because then it will give you a really, really good idea. It will install it into your brain on what you need to do for the whole process. So I wouldn't just be saying like, just look at the basics of them, really study the actual method of what people use. Look across multiple methods, find what's going to work for you. And then when you feel confident, that's when you can take the leap. But I would say, knowledge is absolute key if you want this to be successful for yourself. So, number 3, money. So if you are very tight on money and have very little left over every month, then it could become a problem. If you are doing this all yourself and you can, maintain the system over a long period of time, then you should be okay, because you have a chance to sort of save. But just as an example, and I'm basing this if you are doing this just yourself, so your initial costs based on where you get your hair system from and all the accessories, I would say you're looking around about £200 for your initial cost, and that's like the cheap end of it. If you're getting a hair system from certain places, say if you're getting it directly off eBay, from shipped direct from China, you're going to be looking anywhere between 120 to 180 pound for a hair system. So the cost will be more expensive based on when that goes up. So it's 180, you're going to be looking at around 240, 250 pounds. If you can make the hair system last, so, as a general rule of, thumb, they should all last around about 2 to 3 months as a standard. You can get ones that have different type bases, and they have a lot thicker bases, and they will last a lot longer because you get a lot less shedding. The base is really thick, so everything's really strong. But with those bases, it's a lot less realistic for if you do want to fully expose the front hairline. So that's taken into consideration. If you're going to a salon, you're going to be looking at a minimum of around about £400, and that can go anything up to 1,000 and above. And usually with salons, because you're going to need a refit, you'll probably have to go back at least once a month, which can be difficult. But like I say, if you're doing it yourself, once you've paid that initial cost, your accessories, a big chunk of them you won't have to buy again, but things like the glue, scalp protector and things like that, you will need to keep buying, but they are minimal costs, luckily enough, and very affordable. But it's the hair system. So depending on where you get your hair system from, it can become expensive, but if you budget yourself over a period of time, it should be okay. But again, it's just something to take into account when you're doing this. You can make your hair system last. You could be looking at about, say on average, 180 to around 250 every 4 months. It could be. So, it's quite affordable for having a full head of hair for the whole year. So, looking up about £1,000 a year, really, to have a full head of hair for that is, pretty impressive. So, but there are other ways around it and everything like that, but it's something to take into consideration. Okay, number 4, patience. So patience is key. So for instance, when I'm cleaning my base of my hair system, I will not rush it. I want to get it really clean. So when I put it back on my head, I'm going to get the maximum hold out of this base. And that means less, it means it will extend the life of the glue on my head and on the base of the hair system. So when I'm cleaning the base, I will make sure I get every bit of glue off. So I use a cotton wool, and I'll just keep going gently at first until it all starts sticking, and then getting it off. So that's just one aspect of it. You do have other parts of it as well, but that's just one area I'd say you just have to have the patience for. If it's something you don't have much patience for and things like that, then again you may struggle, because you have to learn patience at every step. Like I say, it will get easier over time, but that is key. If you can have that patience, then it pays off. It's really good. And the last point I have, which I think is a bit of a fear of for a lot of people when they're first thinking about getting a hair system, and that is what other people will think of them. So if this is something that you think about a lot, you may struggle with this. When you get a hair system, you really have to have that confidence in yourself that this is going to be you. Otherwise you may struggle and panic what people are going to think of you. You just have to remember, I don't think there's been one person I've known that has had the hair system that has had someone say to them, "Oh, it looks silly, take it off, you shouldn't have it, oh look at him," or anything like that. You will get compliments a lot of the time. So it is a struggle for some people. So have a think about that. Now going over to the pro side, I've only listed one pro for this because it's the main one, and it's feeling good about yourself. That is the key thing. When I was thinking about it, I'm a happy person and enjoyed life and all those things, but I wanted to feel really good about myself in how I look, which in turn, reflected my personality as well. So it became a key thing for me to be able to, have a hair system. So once I got it, I was committed, and I was like, I'm proud to be able to say I've got a hair system. And you know, like I said in one of my other videos, you know, you will be complimented and you will just love looking in the mirror and styling your hair and playing with it, and it's just a really, really good feeling. So I don't feel like I need any more pros than that, because I think that is one of the main reasons why people will go for a hair system. It's not just because they've lost their hair or anything like that. You know, if that was the case, then you know, people wouldn't want a hair system. It's because people want to feel better about themselves. You should never have to get a hair system if you want to do it purely to make someone else better. It should always only be about yourself and how it makes you feel. So, you know, I hope that hasn't put you off. It's more just guidance on having a hair system and thinking about getting one. For me personally, you know, those cons have become minimal. You know, it's become part of my ritual every week for me to do, and I enjoy doing it. So, you know, and it can be for you as well. So yeah, have a think. Hopefully, you know, it's got your mind thinking a bit more about the situation. You know, don't just jump in. Make sure, you know, you get yourself backed up on this. So just to reiterate on the cons, you've got time, you've got knowledge, money, patience, and what people think of you. If you feel like you can easily get past those, then I'd say go for the hair system. But, you know, up to yourself. It's been really good chatting to you about this, because it's been something I've been, you know, playing with for quite a long time. But if there is any questions or comments you have, please leave them down below and I will try and answer to the best I can. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thank you.